Hey guys, 2018 ATA show. We're outside the Hoyt booth, and we're going to be speaking with Evan, about the new Redworks bows from Hoyt.
How's it going, guys? Yeah, so for 2018, our new Redworks series, it's our carbon series. 3 different models in that still. The Carbon RX1, it's a 32-inch axle-to-axle, 6-inch brace height, shooting 340 feet per second. You have the Carbon RX1 Ultra, it's a 35-inch model, 6-inch brace height, shooting 330, and then the Turbo, which I know you're still shooting one.
I'm still shooting the Turbo.
So this year it's a 32-inch instead of a 33.
Okay.
Brace height is 5 7/8, still shooting 350 feet per second. The big thing on this, truly, top to bottom, completely redesigned bow. We have different heads, so we have a lower head on the bottom, larger head on the top. What that does for the shooter is that actually lowers the grip geometry. So we no longer have the throat of the grip in the center of the bow. We now have the center of the string as the central part of the bow. So your arrow is now coming from the center of the bow, increases tuning, efficiency, productivity, and consistency for the archer downrange. We've added a rear stabilizer mounting bracket. We have a new shock pod vibration dampening system. So in years past, we've utilized the riser shocks, which were dampeners, 3 top, 3 bottom.
Yep.
What we did this year is we have a shock pod, so it's 4 individual weighted perimeter areas on either side. Inside of each one of these pods is a small bullet weight. Okay. One of the inherent issues with a compound bow that has a lower grip geometry is that it's going to be top heavy because you have more material above on the higher side of that grip. So it's going to naturally roll away from your shooter. So what we've done is we've added additional weight in how we're machining our components with our new cam system. There's additional machining that's involved with that because it's a dual module system.
Okay.
So we have more weight under the grip to balance out the total overall weight. So we still have that Hoyt perfect balance technology going on right around the grip.
Does that also help with like torquing? If you happen to torque during a shot, will that keep it from the vibrations being heavy?
Nope. It's not enough to reduce torque in any way or change the harmonics when it comes to induced torque.
Okay.
That's all going to be kind of controlled more in the grip and how your pressure in your hand is set up.
Okay.
Yep. Other big things that we did this year, we talked about the grip geometry, but also the grip itself. So traditionally we've had the ProFit wood grip, we've had side plate options, you've had the rubber 180. All those had the same cut. They were just different materials. This is a new grip that we're calling the Exact. Okay. So it's the perfect image between a Target straight on the riser grip and that ProFit ergonomic cut for hunters. So what we've done is we have a narrower cut grip through the throat where you're going to have the majority of your contact. And then the entire grip profile is slimmed down, but it still has the ergonomic cut up through what we would call the meat or where your hand is going to sit. So it's much more comfortable. You're going to find that the target shooter that likes that slimmer grip fit and feel is now no longer going to have to take that grip off and wrap it to shoot straight on the riser. This is going to have that same feel as their target bow that they're shooting 8, 9, 10 months out of the year.
Gotcha.
The other big thing that we've done, first thing that guys are going to notice is that there's no ZT torque on this. Okay, the premise of the ZT torque is to shift and reduce and zero out that torque as you draw because of the load induced during the draw cycle on your cables. With our new ZT cam system, we want to balance out the cam load. So during the draw cycle, as you go from 0, which is brace height, to your draw length, the cam goes through what we call a translation. So what happens is during your draw cycle, that cam is going to translate or shift as the load increases on the cables.
Okay.
The only way to balance that is to create our dual yoke. So we have a 50-50 leverage load going on. So as you change and move through that draw length, you now have to maintain that 50-50 pressure. The key to it in this system is this change in track. So what happens is we're going to start in this outer position. As we go through the draw cycle, we're going to take this outer bus yoke harness and we're going to move it in towards the cam with this 3D shift. So as we increase that load and the weight pressure goes up on that bus cable, Yep, it shifts that cable inside and maintains a 50-50 balance, so that if you are a 28-inch, a 30-inch, a 32 or 33-inch on our double XL, during the entire draw length of that cycle, that cam never translates. You have perfect vertical cam travel for the entire draw cycle through any one of our cams in any one of the 3 families in any draw length of that. So we do have a couple new patterns this year. This is a new signature series that we have released with Cameron Haynes. It's a Ridge Reaper Baron riser. It's got the black limbs with the Cameron Haynes custom graphics, and then it has the red strings and cables. The other one that we added to the line this year for color is the Kuyu Verde 2.0.
Very nice.
And then we have also added the Sitka Subalpine. So this is the digital pattern they came out with last year. So we're one of the few manufacturers that does have the licensing to do that this year. So another thing that people aren't going to realize and notice, having dual modules on the bottom, because we have that split yoke system, is that there's more machining, so we have to actually increase this stance or the limb width on the bottom. Okay, so when you look at the top of this, we're about 2.5 inches across the face, so your lateral measurement outside to outside is about 2.5 inches.
Wow.
On the top of the bow. On the bottom, edge to edge is 3 1/4. So we're almost 3/4 of an inch wider on the bottom stance. So it increases that lateral and torsional stability to give you better performance out of that bow.
And it's still a light bow overall.
Still super lightweight, yep. The RX-1 comes in at 3.8 pounds. We did get a little heavier. Traditionally, the short axle has been a 3.6. Like I said, this year it's a 32-inch instead of a 30 on the short axle. And then by adding the bullet weights and the extra machining, we did get a slight increase in that weight. Yep. Another unique thing that we've done this year is you now have adjustable let-off options. So this, with the black modules and the rubber on these stops, is an 85% or a high let-off option. You can also order this with an 80% or a medium let-off option. It's engraved 85% on a black module, or the 80% offering is a machined anodized gray module with 80%.
So you got a lot more options with just a single bow. If somebody wants more let-off or less let-off, you got it.
Yep. More let-off, less let-off, higher holding weight, less holding weight. We've got more range in each one of our cam families, so we now have an overlap between the 2 to the 3 and the 3 to the 4, where if you're looking for more speed and efficiency, you can go down a cam size and stay on the high end, or you have more room on the bottom side to go up a cam size and stay on the bottom for a smoother draw cycle.
Awesome.
So another thing, again, our short axle bows have traditionally stopped at 30 inches. This year it goes to 31. Our 35 goes to 32, and then the double XL goes to a 33. So we can cover a much broader range of archer in each one of our different models.
Yeah, because I know my turbo is really big. It's the biggest one that you guys made. So having a smaller one, I'm kind of thinking like in the future, that's the rate I'm going to go. Just from going to a tree stand or even doing 3D shooting, it just seems to be a little bit more easy going there.
And it is more compact.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about the turbo this year too is while we reduced that length and overall bow to a 32, we also have the smoothest and most efficient turbo cam we've ever designed. Traditionally, with the way I hunt and where I hunt and all of that, I've not been a huge turbo fan because of the drop off into the valley and hitting the back wall. It creates a lot of movement, and hunting as a Western guy, most of the animals I'm shooting are actually looking at me as I'm going through that draw cycle. So I want a smoother, more consistent cam. Completely different turbo than anyone has shot since 2004 or 2015 when we actually released a specific turbo cam, and it's still hitting 350 this year.
Yeah, because I know with the Spider, the turbo, holding it back, there's no forgiveness on the creep. I mean, you're back, and just even a little bit of creep in it wants to jerk you forward. So having that be a little bit smoother, that would be a lot nicer.
Yeah. And again, having that higher let off you're going to be holding less on the back wall anyway, so it's going to be a lot more comfortable. You still have a smaller valley, so if you do have some of that creep and that movement, it's still going to want to run from you because of the speed and the energy it's producing. But having that ability to have the higher let off and lower your total holding weight, it's going to affect a lot of archers in a positive way.
So what's the suggested retail price of this?
So MSRP on the RX1 is $1649. The Turbo and the 35, the Ultra, are $1699 for MSRP.
So it's roughly around the same price that the other one was.
Yep, right about where we've been the last couple of years.
Also, can you get the traditional camo colors and patterns with this?
Yep, so all the total offerings on this is, again, the Sitka Subalpine, the Kuiu Verde 2.0, the Under Armour Ridge Reaper Baron, the new Realtree Edge, and then we have Buckskin, and we have Blackout in the line still.
So you got tons of choices to pick from and what you want to choose. So, guys, check it out, Hoyt.com.
Hoyt.com.
And
your favorite local dealer.
Your favorite dealer, social media, all that good stuff. Check them out. Over Hoyt, thank you so much, Evan.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Steven.
your time.
It's a pleasure, guys.
And, guys, check it out for more coverage here at the ATA Show 2018.